What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. On this week's episode, I'll be showing y'all how to tie the perfect loop knot. There are some do's and don'ts with these loop knots that y'all may not be aware of. As we have here, this is what you don't want to do. There's several issues with this loop knot. First of all, the loop is way too big, and what that will do is as you're fishing, that line will flatten out like that on each side of that jig head eye, and you won't get any movement that you need. So the knot's way too big. Second of all, your tag is sticking straight out, and that will get hung up on grass, weeds, stuff like that. That's how not to tie the loop knot. What you're looking for is a very, very small, tight loop with that tag end coming out towards the eye of the jig head. So without further ado, let's get in here, show y'all how to tie this knot. Alright, for this video I'm using 50-pound high-vis monofilament, way bigger than what I normally use. I use the Seaguar 20-pound 100% fluorocarbon leader. That's what I use on all my inshore setups. But the first thing you want to do is just get in here and tie you an overhand knot, just like so. Doesn't matter which way it's running, doesn't matter at all. And you want to pull that knot down till it's pretty small. Now, get your jig heads. I use 1/4 ounce jig heads on all my setups. Go through the eye. Now this is where it gets very important. Whichever way your line ran out of your loop is the way you want to run back in. That's very, very critical in tying a good loop knot. So you got that done. Now you want to pull on both lines till you get that loop real small and real close to the eye of that jig head. Pinch it with your thumb, go around 3 times, and then go back through it the same direction as you went through it previously. Give it a little hawk tooth, pull it down snug, and cut that tag end off pretty close. Now you've got a good tight loop knot, and what that keeps from happening is it doesn't squish flat, right? Because it's a tight enough circle that it'll allow that jig head a lot more room to move than a big eye like that over time will get flattened out and tight, and it won't really give it any wiggle room. That's what you want, a good tight loop knot. You have the tag in, as you can see, facing, laying right by that loop, so it's not going to get tangled up on any grass, anything like that. And that's how I've been tying my loop knots for years. It works really good. Pro tip note, after a whole day of fishing, cut this loop knot off and retie, because it does such a good job working that jig back and forth and creates so much action. It will wear into the belly of that knot, and it will be a friction point, and it will break right there. So after a full day's fishing, before I go fishing the next time, I just snip it off and retie that loop knot, and you won't have any issues at all. Alright, we're going to wrap it up. Hope y'all enjoyed this short little video on how I tie my loop knots. If it was helpful and informative, give this video a like. Subscribe to the channel if you hadn't already for weekly fishing content here along the Alabama and Mississippi Gulf Coast. Thanks for watching. See y'all next week.